love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always
Namaste friends. So today is chapter 23 and chapter 23 is scope. By scope, we would have actually always heard this word. What is the scope? What is my scope? What I'm actually trying to do? What do you expect me to do? What is the scope of this project? What is my scope here? Like we would have actually heard this word. So let's actually see where the scope actually comes into picture and how we are actually using it in Python. Alright, so let's take. Namaste friends. So today we'll be seeing chapter 23 and chapter 23 is scope. So what did we see? We saw class. We saw how we actually define the class, how we actually put the garam masala, how we actually call the class, and how we actually inherit, okay, the base, the derived, and bunch of other funky commands. And then we saw iterator, which is very similar to that of the loop. And today we have come to scope. So what is a scope? Anything that we are actually taking, what is the scope of this project? Okay, what do you want? What is the scope? What scope I have in this project? What is my visibility? What is the thing that I can actually do? So we always talk of the scope even without our understanding, right? So a variable created inside a function belongs to the local scope of the function and can be used inside the function. The scope at high level is this. So let's actually see how we can actually call. So if you actually see this we have already done that. We are defining a function. We are calling, initializing x is equal to 300. We are printing the x and everything comes under this. This is more or less like this thing. And then when we say my function, it actually comes to this, which is 300. My function becomes 300 because the entire part becomes my function. So the function side by side, let's actually see this. We are defining a function and then there's another inner function, and then we are calling the inner function, we are calling the my function. So let's see what is actually coming here. 300, because you're only calling this even though we define another inner function. Now let's actually see this, a global variable. So we actually talked of the global variable because anyway, like if it's a red symbol, you have to stop. This is a global variable. We are defining a function, we are printing this, we are calling this function, which is again 300, and then we are actually printing this again 300. 3 times 300, because one for my function, the other is for the printing of x. So the naming variable, so let's actually talk here. First is a global. This is a function being defined, and then we are defining a function which is 200, and then printing of x is 300. So let's see what actually comes. See, 200 and 300. Okay, I just reverse the order, but 200 and 300. Same, global, this thing. So all these things actually come under the scope. Function, we define those. This is 300, so my function is 300, so we're printing all these things come under this scope. Okay, 300. So let's actually see this. Global, my function 200, so this is 200 and 300, correct? Yep. So in this case it became only this thing, 200, printing of x, my function, because my function became the global x, and this x we have actually made this as 200. See here, what did we do something here is, there's a global function we defined, and then we call these two, it actually gave this. Here we made a 300, this came. There is a global, and inside the function we call the global of this 300. So this 300, we redefine this 300 as 200, and then when we actually even print it, it's only going to give you 200. Okay, so this is the scope. Did we understand this? Alright friends, I know scope is a very small this thing, and then the next lecture math will also be kind of small, which is also going to be interesting. So scope and math is something like, you can take a breather as compared to your class and inheritance, but still it is worthwhile to actually look into it. Okay, if you have any questions, you know whom to contact. Until we see next time, thank you, take care, cheers. Namaste friends, I trust you have actually seen my lecture on scope and probably liked it. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. I'll try to help you to the best of my abilities. Like always, I would like to thank two persons. One is you for giving me a golden time, and the other is my wife Jayashree following me to follow my passion. Till we see next time, take care, cheers.